Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Mokanaman at YouTube with another Q&A session. Last week I put out a bunch of information and requested some questions and requests. You guys really blew my mind and put quite a bit out there. It's been a while, 3 months since the last one. I forgot how much fun I have doing these, but at the same time, for a little more production value, they are more difficult and time consuming to do in a quickly diminishing time schedule of things to get done, work, hobby and channel related. Event information will be covered at the end of the video. Some of the updates regarding big projects and the garage kit thing is asked throughout this video, and most importantly, I've reached a big milestone. The channel is 10 years old as of February, but that's only when I registered, started, and viewing, commenting videos at that time. I was just anonymous well before then for a few years. I did not start uploading until November, so it's quite a bit of time viewing, researching, finding out what people are into until I decided to start making content, which was the idea all along. The time was all about forums and image boards, and to answer people's questions, it was easier to drop a link to a video than to write out a large blob of text that was most likely not read. Starting all of this off, one of my oldest subscribers and viewers, Shoot Me, stated, "It does not feel like 10 years of Mokanaman. Then again, I still feel that Seed is not that old of a Gundam series. So my perspective on time is a bit out." Absolutely agree with that. I actually feel quite the same about the series and the old model lines. I am also interested in how you are getting on with your spark maker. I've just got a very expensive ModelExpo printer, but I am looking at a smaller MSLA printer that is cheap and can handle the overflow, that's more reliable and better supported than my DL. Now, I remember and have Shoot Me stand out very well in the comment section, as he contributes to the Q&A sessions and other videos in comment form quite often, but consistently throughout the whole career of my channel, as well as other older and current Gunpla and normal modelers out there. Also, back in the time when we did things like video responses and competitions and all that, I did get a couple of them, which is quite a privilege compared to what's going on nowadays. Though Shoot Me has some interesting projects and contributions to the hobby, which I would love to share as a request. Shoot Me has founded K Scale Models in the UK, an online hobby shop, but more importantly, garage manufacturer, creating a range of diorama accessories, aftermarket kits for the World War toons, tanks, and parts for Gundam kits, traditional resin add-on parts that B Club used to do through online mechanical CAD design and 3D printing it through rapid prototype resin 3D printers. Going through the Thingiverse catalogue, which you can download and print for personal use for free, he is extremely talented, and some of these models are quite lovely if you do happen to own an SLA DLP style resin printer. Explained in some of my videos, there is quite a bit of potential with these machines on the market, as well as printing services, that modelers have an opportunity of making their own parts and kits and trading them like the days of old, where people sculpted their own parts, cast them and trade them at Wonderfest style events. This is pretty much a renaissance of a new generation of garage kits, and this is one of the earliest examples out there. If you are unable to produce the parts yourself or want something more exclusive, the eBay page has the whole catalogue of works that you can buy, add on to existing kits, or paint and display yourself. A really fantastic opportunity to check out that hasn't been quite noticed yet. All the links to Shoot Me's stuff, as well as K-Scale Models, is in the description section down below. If you're interested in making the models, promoting it, or doing some sort of a business deal, feel free to contact him. Wargaming with Garry messaged, very nice video, have subscribed, all the best, Garry. Now, Garry has a very small yet quite a cool and vlog style wargaming channel that covers the collecting, building up, pointing of an army in a game, painting, basing him up, as well as playing and covering all the aspects of his hobby. If wargaming of that style tickles your fancy or is your sort of thing, it is content very worthwhile checking out. Quite honest and quite of good quality and informative. Now, this request has not been made of me, but I know Cam is definitely watching and the stakes are pretty high. Cam on his YouTube channel is hosting the O.M.C original mech competition, a scratch building event where you utilize kits, kit bashing, scratch building, 3D printing, whatever you need to do to build your own original model that's kind of like Chappie or one of the droids from Star Wars. It doesn't have a pilot and it operates by itself. He's got some very high profile judges. A lot of familiar faces are competing on their Facebook page. Work in progress pictures are flying all over the places. I think this is the biggest online competition event of the year. Past events hosted by Cam or involvement has been very popular and attract all sorts of media attention, as well as attention from many aspects of the modeling and mecha modeling world. It doesn't matter about your skill level, very friendly community. If you're new to scratch building and just trying something out and getting yourself out there, or quite comfortable and experienced, definitely watch. But if you feel inclined to enter, the prize pool is going to be very big as expected, with quite a few sponsors, and I might be throwing something in myself. It's going to run till close to the end of the year, I think October, November, to the back of my mind. Definitely contribute and learn as a spectator. Share it around on social media. Love to help and grow grassroots movements like this that's not exactly industry driven, and as always, all references and links down in the description section. Ho Li Fuk has asked, what has happened to phDManChild, and will he ever come back? And congratulations on 10 years of making videos on your channel. Here's to 10 more. Thank you very much, mate. Now, for many who aren't aware, I have multiple YouTube channels. All of my time and attention has been put into the Mokanaman as my flagship channel. I have a little extra fun and low effort, low energy videos on 2 other channels. phDManChild was just a platform for a bit of humor, fun, and talking about and displaying things that are unrelated to modeling or not appropriate for the Mokanaman YouTube channel. For the past couple of years, it's just been a dumping ground for my experimental streaming videos on Twitch, so they're very lengthy. Before that is a lot of humor driven reviews on alcohol, anime, some skits, that sort of stuff, amusing things I come across. Now, there is a catalogue of unreleased phDManChild videos that I never got around to editing and releasing, all filmed in my last trip to Japan, where I had an individual room, bought a bunch of alcohol and had a bit of fun. One of them I was very, very drunk. 2 of them are edited and ready to go, probably because I thought they weren't quite good enough. I'm going to put them up around the same time as this video for people to have a look or remember what it used to be like. And if there is enough interest, I may consider editing the rest of them and slowly putting them up throughout the year. Unfortunately, I am very time poor and can't invest in doing skit videos, as it was very popular on YouTube a long time ago for people to have multiple channels, gaming, skits, opinions, that sort of thing. But I won't write it off, and maybe sometime in the future I may use it again, or continually as a dumping ground for Twitch streams. Plastic Oddities by Tristan. 10 years, holy crap, congratulations. Thank you very much. It's just only 10 years on the platform, soon 10 years for making videos, but I've been making content and floating around online for about 14 to 15 years. And I think I'll tell my origin story on the 10-year date in a video and share my earliest content of screenshots from websites and forums, maybe my original website and some very old newsletter catalogs from a Warhammer board. That could be very cool. This is also a good opportunity to plug Tristan's channel Plastic Oddities on YouTube. Link down below. He does a lot of vintage kits, insights, almost an old school style vlog video from back in the day of Too Old for Toys and all that. A very, very nostalgic guerrilla style camera work, but his modeling knowledge and skills are on point. I'm a very big fan of his style and is very knowledgeable about the areas of modeling he covers. At the moment he is quite into the Maschenkrieger Ma.K stuff and hosts the Australian Mark group forum, and he's doing some pretty good work there. It's slow starting, though. I could see it build up and producing some very nice events and pictures and that sort of stuff. Definitely check it out and support it if you feel inclined to. WWK Scale Plastic Models. Nice update. Looking forward to much more from you, Bill. Thank you very much, Bill. Bill has a nice little YouTube channel, view down below, that focuses on mostly what looks like Second World War modelling subjects, a range of brands and scales and all that. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a while, though never really had the right platform or opportunity. That military content creators on YouTube does have a fair hard go as of about a year or a little more ago, when the algorithm changed and controversial content on politics and violence has been less favoured in search results and recommendations. So if you particularly use tags such as war or World War or anything like that, your videos are a lot less likely to be seen, so people are omitting that, and if they don't, they generally just miss out. I've noticed on my 70-second tank reviews that they've taken a huge slump when they used to be very popular to dwindling numbers. I found revisiting titles, descriptions, as well as the tag section, which I'm refixing on all of my videos slowly, 5 videos at a time, for spelling mistakes and to improve my knowledge on how to promote videos. They've gotten quite a lot more attention. So anyone who's into military modeling, please revisit your tags, description and all that, and just remove the words war or World War or anything like that, and purely rely on the tags of what the exact vehicle is. Even things like gun, conflict, that sort of stuff. And people who are really into military modeling and have platforms, share them around on social media, promote them to the best you can, so they can get a more fair platform among the community over other forms of modeling. Mottys Military Models. Hey, big congrats, buddy. Great milestone. Here's to the next thousands and thousands of subs. Lol, stay safe, Ma.K. Thank you very much for the kind comment, mate, and I also wish your channel the best of luck and growth. Motty also has a very cool channel with all of these links down below. They are down there worth checking out. This channel covers military modeling as well as references and a vlog style approach to documenting his builds, styles, how to, and all of that sort of stuff. Samuel, a very long time contributor, commenter in the modeling and Gundam community. Looking forward to all the new stuff. Cheers. Thank you very much, Samuel, and hoping to see you a lot more as well. Next we have Benzone. I've got a few questions. Is there a glue you would recommend for use on metal detail kits for Gundam models, both for gluing the metal parts to themselves and to the plastic model? There are a few products on the market you can use, including CA superglue, PVA clear wood glue, and 2-part epoxy contact glue. My personal preference for large and heavier metal pieces before painting is super glue to permanently fix it, but for things like photo etch, things you need to reposition, and small detail to have time to move around and play with, super glue can flood the detail and cause a lot of issues. I do have a video on the topic on photo etch, just a bit of toothpick, slap on some PVA, move it into position and allow it to dry as long as you need to. It is clean upable with a tissue or water. Two-part epoxy I don't really use anymore, as the other two are quite sufficient. For a demonstration in this method, my video Model Kit Workshop 128 application of photo etch parts link is in the description section. An added bonus of the PVA glue not being a solvent yet pretty strong. Once the parts are painted, you want colour separation, the plastic or metal one colour, the other bit of metal another colour. You're able to glue it together post-painting without any damage or discoloration to the paint, wiping up excess. You may do want to adjust the finish as it comes out a bit glossy. Back to Benzone. Any idea how to achieve the anime cell style paint job I've seen online, where the finished 3D Gundam model looks like a 2D painting? The anime cell look has been popular for a few years and is very dynamic and intense to look at. It is not impossible or particularly hard to pull off, but more just a lot of foreplanning, as well as how you're going to do your layers and especially choice of colours. If you have a notice of the example, we've got highlighted edges on all the corners as well as the seams that are very exaggerated, and 2 to 3 tones of colours in each spot, imitating a very heavy shadowing in a dramatic sense. There is a playlist attached in the description down below, and there's a mixture of hand painting to achieve this look in layering for the hard edge, or the use of Gundam markers as a starter or introduction. This is definitely a style that I have full intentions of sticking my hand in and pulling off, because it's extremely appealing and I like it as well. More of a time constraint. If I was to have a go at it for a really smooth finish, I'll stick to the airbrush. Freehand is obviously out of the question because the effect relies on hard edges and would be more of a study of masking in the right place of the right colours and building it up. Starting with the lightest colour, the light for the tiny sheen with a blob of blue tack, and then sticking to tape or other mediums for the larger areas and the top amount. After a clear coat, you would fill the seams and as well as do the edging through dry brushing or other lining methods. Between the planning and time consuming work, I think it'd be very fun and awesome to pull off, though to have it look almost like a 2D piece against a white backdrop would probably take practice on a few models before it starts looking really good and you're pinpointing the shadow points and the light glints just right. Download lots of reference pictures to use as your inspiration and guide while attempting it. The style also mostly works when you're looking at one section, the front or a certain view. To make the shadowing work at multiple angles would be difficult. This is up to you, the artist, how you would approach that. Do note that the style is not so popular with the elite end of the modelers and are very critical of where shadows are cast. In the end, just have fun with it. Lastly, from Benzone, where did the name Mokanaman come from? I pretty much covered a bit of this with Tristan, and I think I'm going to do a full origin story video around November with quite a bit of information and the full background. But just to start off, it has a bit of a weebish origin with this particular character. Mokana is this fat furry blob that eats things and gets along socially and just has all sorts of fun and never gets into true trouble due to having substantial magical powers. I found it to be just a really cool thing and played around with that and threw it out as some sort of identity, where you had also had things like Vegeta 8259 and some other people just going back on being a teenage anime fan and jumping onto what you like best. Luckily, at the start of my game, I foreshadowed or saw copyright infringement being an issue on multiple platforms and changed the spelling slightly, meaning I can claim the whole thing as my own and a full identity many years later. I'm very glad I'm not stuck with something that is contained to some sort of universe or copyrighted world from an anime or other pop culture property. In the end, I still obviously really enjoy anime as a medium of entertainment and art or modelling content to create in the very materials that I'm still pumping out to this day. Not really ashamed of that at this point. Next question, G. Cardinal. Question referring to your recent Half-Life figure build shared on Facebook. How do you work around 3D printed lines and artifacts? And also an update on your 3D printing projects would be awesome. I have already made, edited and uploaded the video scheduled to be published about April 1st. I sort of work on things well in advance, upload them in batches, as sometimes I'm doing quite a bit of work and I'm very inspired, and other times I'm fairly busy and not too close to the desk. It's good to space out content on a weekly basis, but the video will be coming out exactly how I made For those who would like to know about my exact process now, very similar products were used for these 3 videos. The links are down in the description section below under 3D printing. Right now, a lot of my attention on 3D printing is on the SLA Spark Maker that I did a video a little while ago, trying to do some more complex prints and commissions for friends before I do full commissions through the salt mines. I'm also doing some 70-second tanks, which I think would be quite a bit of fun, and maybe some figurative stuff to work out supports and how to make different approaches. This is going to lead on to eventually making molds for the injection molding machine and have a better understanding of the cleanup process and production design, as well as garage stuff that would be very fun to make but not possible to pull through an injection molding machine. There will be some stuff appearing on Facebook and a work in progress and finished model wise in the next few weeks. The videos going in greater depth on more complex printing and the process of dealing with an SLA print will follow suit in about a month or so time. We will finish off with picking out some good questions from the comment section on my other videos. Hi, thank you for the video. Question: Mr. Hobby Dissolved Putty equal to which grit of surface series? This was posted on my Mr. Surfacer 500 primer video. A lot of people have been using Mr. Surfacer 500 being a bit too thick to airbrush to hand paint or filling in gaps and sanding back later. Due to how popular this was, though, had the ability to shrink, Mr. Dissolved Putty was formulated, and it sort of behaves completely differently. This is the exact answer I gave. Hello. The texture of dissolved putty is silky with a high tension thick velocity. This product skins and dries quickly. It is very hard to judge as a surfacer grit, as the product is amazing at covering imperfections, yet impossible to cover a large area like paint evenly. What I can tell you is it will fix scratches and holes deeper than what Mr. Surfacer 500 can fix. Sheldon Cooper asks, I'm about to make a diorama which I'm eventually going to upload. It is a World War II France showing a last resistance against the Wehrmacht. And if I would buy them, should I buy the machine gun or the cannon? This is in regards to the Renault TF-17 World War I tank that happened to be used in the Second World War as well. Now, in the mecha community, I'm not a big fan of which kit should I build, next choice, all of that sort of thing. In the military community, especially for dioramas, it's a far more interesting conversation as it can lead to historical comparisons of what figure goes with what machine at what setting, with timeline and all that sort of stuff, as well as what sort of story you would like to tell. My exact answer was, hello. I did a general Google search and found mostly pictures of captured TF-17 cannon version in German markings, which used to be French. However, the ones used falling back to the west coast would have been destroyed, so photo evidence would be useless. Safe to say, both were deployed by all nations to fight against or as allies with the Germans' early war. I like the cannon more, but would use a machine gun as it would feel more hopeless in a bigger struggle against Rommel's Panzer and Field Guns Division. On a progress update on my injection moulding video, John SL attempted to plug himself as well as provide some excellent information and resources, as well as an invite to his community. I ran across your channel. I've been making my old injection moulds of a similar size for desktop machines for about 8 years now. Are you aware of the small scale plastic moulding group on Facebook? Here is a link. Also, I have a YouTube channel where I've posted various videos on making small injection molds. I do this for fun. My day job is as a software developer. Here is my YouTube channel. Both links will be in the description below. If you join the Facebook group, you'll see posts of me and can message me directly if you have any questions or want to learn more. I am happy to do more videos that address questions you might have or to answer any questions you have. His gesture was very lovely and I do intend on taking him up on his offer. The injection moulding project is suspended temporarily for the acquisition of more materials and resources. I can't do any further CADing except for at work where things are very busy until I upgrade my computers. I have bought a gaming-esque strength machine, which I just need to add a few more parts and get that programmed and working, as well as mastering the SLA 3D printing machine I have for making molds, as well as the outer cover being out of additive 3D printing, which my Up Mini is not doing too well. The repairs to the base is still not good enough for the heat plate, and have intentions of selling or moving that along and getting another cheap machine that doesn't curl or warp. Rublade also asks in the same progress video how my injection molding project is progressing. I did set a timeline in my earlier videos and it is slowing down, but it is a very big project. A lot more research is required. I've had a few people reach out and I want to try multiple different things, which all costs money in acquiring new things like special resins or casting methods or trying different pellets. I've also got the idea of recycling plastic like Bandai does. When I bought the Glomp ink machine, it came with pigments and instructions how to mix pellets in a bag and add it to a machine. A good friend of mine at work who is a scientist also recommended washing runners in brine, grinding it down, adding the pigment and mixing it for injection. All of this will be documented and shared. I just need to take it one step at a time. Concluding all the requests and questions, I'll do a bit of an update. A vlog full update video will be coming out at some point before the event season, but a bit of an idea what I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to be at. The intention is only to do 2 public appearances. One will be ModelExpo 2019 in Melbourne. I will be there as a trader for Salt Mine Hobbies. A full booth is booked where I'll be selling. They'll be more than happy to interact with anyone that comes along, and we'll have quite a few interesting bits and pieces to show, sell, showcase, all of that sort of thing. Link in the section down below, but it'll also be publicized heavily on the Salt Mines page further down below. All proceeds profited from the day will be going towards the Salt Mines injection molding project and garage kits. The second event near the end of the year is Animaga, which is an anime convention. The committee and owner has asked me to run the Gundam and modelling workshop. There will also be building space, a sale table for the salt mines with a range of kits and tools, as well as competition space and community space for clubs like the Ma.K group to promote themselves, get members, all that sort of thing. It's a sponsor-free space where people will be able to network and have all sorts of fun. Now, ideally, I would like to have the injection molding project done by then and have a kit to give away for free, which is the first model line. Failing that, I'll at least have my first full garage kit for sale, which would be either Ma.K inspired or Gundam inspired. That will be SLA created. Very excited in the direction that's going to go into. But if I'm not giving away an injection molded kit, I've got something lined up in the work that would be a sample for people who are very new to modelling, walking in the space and would like an introduction and to try something out. We'll have a dinner and some other things planned. There is a Facebook page to join for people that want to plan to showcase stuff, bring in competition pieces, bring in builds to build, airbrush demonstrations, helping people out, all of that sort of thing. It's just going to be a big opportunity for locals or people willing to travel to meet and have a modelling social weekend. Should have a few guests and local influence. Right now in Australia only, I am really pushing the limits of the Spark Maker and learning as much as SLA DLP printing as I possibly can with reactive resin liquid. I've taught a friend how to CAD, and he created this awesome design for a brake wagon and some other wagons for a Thomas the Tank Engine train set that will add mechanical parts painted up and having it running around layout. Learned a bit about printing these out with the right supports and all that, and feel confident enough that I've got a detail and structure that's ideal enough to sell and trade off that would be far cheaper than something like Zeal printing or Shapeways. So this is going to be a way of fundraising for all of my other projects. Now, the absolute coolest thing is I've changed my mind drastically about garage kits and printing individual parts out. The downside is the process is very slow. Your machine will be flat chat, but the huge advantage is when I bought the resin, it was very expensive shipping overseas, though it seems Anycubic has wholesaling and retailing in Australia shipped through eBay and other sites, and I can actually buy the resin at a fraction of what I was paying overseas. So at the cost of production or producing things out of the printer is so cheap. Molds is not an issue for the injection molding machine, as well as doing a few projects for myself or other people, and actually the production of limited run garage resin kits, which I think I'll design some really cool stuff and just see how it goes, showcase and build them, share them around. It is an extra add-on. Not a big fan of pushing this sort of stuff, but at the end of an obscure video for rather closer knit followers, I think it's fine. I've got a Patreon. A lot of it just goes into the development cost of the salt mines, the development of injection molding, garage kits, experiments, all that sort of thing. And even though once that takes off and goes into full swing, it could probably be used to buy things to experiment and showcase for the greater community. So if you enjoy the sort of thing I do and following all the updates and different aspects of this channel compared to others, Nothing substantial, just $1. Very much appreciated in the development of all of this. All links down at the very bottom of the description. For those in Australia, check out the salt mines, any sort of tools, airbrushes, supplies, kits. All of that also goes straight in the same mentioned development costs, and it makes a huge difference, as well as the turnover is pretty decent, especially at events. And I'm very happy that the hobby is covering itself in all the interests that I take. That is it. Thank you very much for watching and bearing this long of a Q&A session. I'm very sorry for the 1.5 minutes of shilling, but I suppose it needs to be mentioned here and there, as other YouTubers are on top of it very regularly, but they do make a living. I'd much rather get straight in the meat and bones of modelling and all the fun stuff the hobby can definitely bring in, and the cool stuff I definitely have to show off and share with everyone. The hobby is very fun for me. I'm still enjoying it at this stage, especially with content creating, sharing, being on the platform, and all the exciting directions and changes that are being made from someone who consumes and enjoys kits to contributor and developer of kits. I can't wait to see how far it goes and takes me, and definitely another 10 years in the hobby, and the platform is within sight of my future. I definitely do thank everyone who watches, even if they don't contribute, comment, all that sort of thing. I know like things like your PlayStation or your phone's not very user friendly in navigating that sort of stuff, but coming past and taking a peek, saying hello on the streets as well as social media is much appreciated, and I really grateful for all the opportunities I've been given and taken advantage of, as well as interacting with each and every one of you. Thank you again very much, and shall definitely catch you guys next time. Drop a word down below if you have any requests, interests, or anything has piqued your interests. See you later.